All right, everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining for the AACD orientation session. So before we kind of go into the details of what we're going to do, let's briefly talk about what is AACD. AACD is AnyAUT Certified Developer, and to do this, to become one, we have something called as AACD training. Now, to understand what is AACD training, you should have as a prerequisite attended the ACT training, AnyAUT certified tester. Prerequisite is the LA. Okay, now I find. So the reason is very simple, because to become an AnyAUT certified tester, you also need to know what is AnyAUT and do you have a decent work experience over it. This becomes very critical. So do you know what is AnyAUT and so on? Now, before we go forward, can someone from the audience just tell me what you think AnyAUT is? Those of you who are aware you've been associated with that product for a while. What is AnyAUT, team? How do you describe it? Yeah, so I've got two answers so far. Anyone else wants to give it a try? AnyAUT is a test management tool which can automate. So there are different things coming. I just want to make sure we write it. AnyAUT is a test management tool which can automate. Actually, which can run automation tests as well. That's what we're trying to say there. Automate any application under test. That's also the one behind the what is AnyAUT as a expansion. It's more like an abbreviation for it. But what is it really? For the first time user, let's say you meet a new software test engineer or QA analyst or QA manager, for example, and they say, hey, what's AnyAUT? Well, by the way, how do you answer it in one sentence? It's a test management tool with built-in keyword. Built-in keyword. I'm assuming, team, everyone out here is aware what you have some kind of association with the sessions. Anyone totally new who's hearing AnyAUT word for the first time? Can you kindly send a chat message which is private to me only? Anyone here who's attending my session for the first time? Maybe that is a better question. Okay, I didn't see any answers. Okay, so you already are aware. Okay, so there's one gentleman who's doing it for the first time. Sure. So welcome on board. Thank you so much for the first time visitor. It's two of them. That's good. That's cool. That's very nice to know. So great. We are talking about this. So even for a layman, for the first time, we will talk about this. So it's a test management and built-in keywords. Most of the audience have an idea on this. So some questions, I'll take it a little later. For example, there's a question, I'm not an AnyAUT tester. Is it too early to do AACD? Let's figure this out as we go through the session. I think that's what we're trying to do out here to answer it. Now, it's a test management tool with a built-in keyword. Anything else, team, that it does? It has frameworks. Yep. It has test management. Yep. And it's got, what else? Automation testing. These are the three things that AnyAUT has overall. And we continue to build. Of course, automation testing, I'm also keeping reports as part of test management or automation. So I'll not say reports separately. But if I look at three distinctive things, this is what I see. So I see one statement saying automation tool which minimizes the execution time by using built-in keywords. It's great. So, those are some of the great statements, like automation tool which minimizes the execution time by using build. It's not built in, it's built in, so I'm correcting it here at my end. Keywords. Yep. Very apt, absolutely. So there's a lot of things that AnyAUT does. For the first time visitor, the best way for you to get a little exposure to what AnyAUT is to try to go to AnyAUT.com. And I believe we have Orange as a good version where I can create a new demo on what this application does and how it flows. So it's something that you can go through the AnyAUT.com website. You kind of give you a perspective on what we do and so on. All right, everyone. Okay, so let's get back to the session. So AnyAUT.com is the website to get more details on the tool. Okay, now while we talk about AnyAUT, so primarily what it is a test management tool that also helps to do automation testing and achieves significant ERA by using the inbuilt framework concepts. That's what it is, I would say. And we use Selenium and Java as the backend, and we use PHP and WordPress as the front end, something like that. That becomes a statement that we kind of put together, because you will continue to have conversations team. So it should be very good or easy for us all to be able to talk around it in the same line. Now, so what is the primary difference between ASCT and ASCD? Who is an ASCT? Since this is a test QA tool, okay, let's talk about it as a QA tool. Okay, you need to have a learning to use it. So basically, you learn, certify, and implement. That's what you do with any certification training that we're talking about. So by learning, you go through the training, then you go through the exam and the project work that will be assigned. And then when we talk about implementing, we will talk about having you work on a project, be it an internal project or a client project. Someone likes AnyAUT as a tool, they want to implement, they need someone to sit down and do it. Great. So AnyAUT certified tester, you need to have a learning. Okay. Now, primarily, who is an AnyAUT certified tester team? That is the question that I'll try and answer. And for the last 5 days, for those of you who are new, we had about 5 sessions. So someone who has watched or attended the, I don't know how many hours is it, 6 hours latest training by iTeLearn. That's number 1. This is what you need to have. Second is who has completed the assignment and the final project work. Finally, who has passed the certification test. These are the 3 steps, team. Now, this is what makes a AnyAUT certified tester. What are the skills that ASCT has? This is very important for you all to know. The first one is the fact that you are a great software test engineer. Okay. Let me leave the adjectives out of it. Software test engineering / quality assurance. You have the basic manual testing, rather manual testing concepts that you're very good at. When I say concepts, I don't have to say concept, it's overall, you're thorough on it. You have test management tool exposure. You know the SDLC and software test lifecycle very well. You also happen to know what is agile and how we work in an agile methodologies briefly in concepts. And you know how to work in team environment. So you know the basics of expert in writing test cases, expert in implementing I'm not going in the exact order, team. AnyAUT for a client. You're an expert at doing that. You can implement AnyAUT for a client. You're expert in writing test cases. You have writing um, test cases specifically with element identification being key. That's one field. So, expert in implementing AnyAUT for a client, running automation tests with zero coding. For clients, QA automation, QA manual plus automation. Running automation tests with zero coding. So this is what builds an AnyAUT certified tester team. So whenever we talk about an AnyAUT certified tester, by default they have these skills. So when you talk about certification and all that, the advantage is primarily when you get an opportunity to talk, they know it for sure that the client says that yes, you're a certified tester, and we will ensure that you're trained and retrained and regroomed till you get certified. So that you should not worry, team. Now, AnyAUT certified tester as of now is a free training and free certification as of today. As of today, okay, you can register anytime. And today is 17th October 2017. Cool. Starts and ends with them. Anyone else having an issue with my audio, or everyone is good with the team? All right, cool. Sorry, Anu, I never have PowerPoints. I rarely use PowerPoints. It's not about slides, it's about the content. Okay, looks like audio is good. Jaya, maybe you have to check it here end, please. All right. So, but yes, I heard you that there's a keyboard noise coming in the background. I'll try and keep it lower. Okay. It's a free training and free certification as of today, and you should all join this. So, team, before I go forward, a couple of polls that I want to execute so you can help me answer them as to what you are doing right now in terms of AnyAUT. Are you aware of what AnyAUT is? But before that, this is the first poll, team, that I've just launched on your screen. It's primarily to try and understand where are you in the IT life cycle overall. So take a few seconds, please, and complete the poll, everyone. All right, team, I've got almost 80% votes in. So I'm going to quickly close this poll and share the results with you. So this is just to give you a biography of the audience and just to kind of show where we are placed. So very few percentage of you are absolute beginner to IT, and that's fine. You can definitely get to get to learn the path of getting where you want to be. So I think this is a discussion that we'll continue to have as we keep going, and I'll keep guiding a lot of free videos that will motivate you, team. We just have to put them together. If you look at archives, I think you'll see them there. 13% of you saying that some IT but not significant at all. 46% QA trained but not getting the QA jobs. 33% working in QA looking to get to automation. That's great. So this is a good distribution, team. 0% automation expert boss. And I understand, because I hope the statistic will change significantly by the time we complete AnyAUT certified developer training. Okay. Now, what this basically says is, on the web application anyauT.com/orange, and since, team, this is a continuation of the 5 hours of program that we had. So if you think that you're missing some lot of things, then yes, you are. So AnyAUT certified tester already knows exactly as to how this application works, right from dashboard all the way in. Okay, sorry, I have to hide the polls. Okay, now you can see the screen, I guess. Right, everyone? So once the sign in happens, you see a dashboard, and you know how you can do a test planning, how you can set up the test run that you want to do, execute the actual test, and view the results, what happened. All this, how you manage it and execute it at the back end, is very critical, team. And one more qualification is installing setting up, okay, download, okay, installing and setting up the AnyAUT desktop app. We need desktop app to execute this thing. All right. So now these test results, like, okay, sorry, the overall AnyAUT certified tester has a good idea of navigating through this entire application. Now, when we talk about this desktop app, what happens typically? You download it into your machine and you install it. And after you install it, you will see somewhere like this. I hope it's working. It's a very old version, team. I'm sure it'll still hopefully open up. So what you see on the screen is basically what the desktop app is right now. We just have to select the details of what execution it is, who is executing it, and where is that Excel located which we exported from AnyAUT, and how long do you want to keep the browser timeout. So you want to keep it to, let's say, 10 seconds as your default timeout for your browser, and say execute automation test. And this runs the entire Selenium engine at the back end. So the way it is open up a paint. Look at the architecture team. Okay. Let's try and keep changing colors as we go along. The first component is the web UI. Okay. That's number one. This is where a human is doing all the updates into the test. This is being done by a human. Now the human also selects as to what they want to run from here. And then there is this engine at the back end. All right. It'll be bad at drawing a star or a gear. So I'll just say there's an engine here. And this engine is built on Selenium and Java and a lot of other reusable jars and libraries and so on. Now what this engine does is whatever the user wants to execute, it first understands what is it that it has to execute. It also gets details on which browser and what I enter in the username field or password, or how much money we transfer from one account to the other. So all the information is provided in this web UI. That is number one. The engine then takes that information, understands what has to be done, and goes about, oops, I said I'll change colors. And goes about executing that on multiple browsers. Your Chrome, your Firefox, your Safari, your Internet Explorer, your Opera, and so on. Okay, few browsers. And this is done, these two activities, engine execution and the execution on the browsers, okay, are done in the desktop. This one is down over the cloud. All right, so this is cloud. And this execution is done at the desktop. So primarily we write manual, we run automation. That is what we do. We write manual and we run automation. The structure that you see is the overall architecture team. And in fact, if you open up in a private window, maybe anyauth.com/orange, you'll see the same diagram there. Now, what AnyAUT certified, so see this diagram. I'll just zoom in. Okay, there you go. It's perfect. So this diagram, it's the web UI, where you write your modules, test cases, steps, reusable components, and so on, and you select something to run, and then the Java test engine ng code kind of kicks in the Selenium WebDriver as needed, and it uses a lot of different utility files, databases, and so on at the back end to execute it on multiple browsers, and then we come up with some great reports and dashboards. This is what it does. Okay, this is what AnyAUT Orange does primarily, and it's a free version for everyone to use. So that's a brief overview. Now, in this version, AnyAUT Software Tester is basically covering this part of the equation. Okay, and could be covering also how execution is done on this part. and how the reports and dashboards come and so on. These are the three areas that the ACT involves. Now, what an ACT does is he or she knows exactly how this portion is working and how it needs to integrate back with the web UI and pass the commands into the cross browsers. So the one in black is the AnyAUT certified developer team. So primarily, to be an AnyAUT certified developer, what are the qualifications? I just want to talk about what are we expecting to see, who is an AnyAUT certified developer, and then maybe it will become easier to understand who is an AnyAUT certified developer. Okay, it's very similar. Who has completed so and so, right? So who is an AACT, knows coding of the current framework, which is keyword driven framework, data driven framework, page object model, coding of the, okay, knows concepts of the current framework, etc. All the frameworks that we have, knows how to, one second team, one second everyone, sorry team, I'm back. Okay, cool. So who knows concepts of current framework, knows how to write, who knows how to write, knows code Java, and preferably JUnit or TestNG is a good to have. I don't think you need to be a master at it, but if you know basic concepts, it's enough. We have not used very advanced JUnit or TestNG concepts at all in this. He needs to know Selenium WebDriver, needs to know Selenium IDE, needs to be able to understand how to work with GitHub, because that's something we'll be using, Maven, Jenkins, Trello, and basically they know it all. Why? Because we need them to help for working on new versions, and for clients, sorry, I'll type slowly so that there's not too much background noise, sorry about that team, and for clients who need customizations on AnyAUT. They want a specific implementation. They want someone technical to be there to look at how the execution is done, someone with a development skill set, and that becomes an AnyAUT certified developer team. Am I being clear, everyone? Is it? I'm keeping it in very, very simple layman terms. I'm not going very advanced into it. Anyone has a question? Can you at least say yes, clear, or yes for clear, and no, not clear? I have questions. Everyone, can you take kindly a couple of seconds and please put it? Yes, that means it's clear. No means it's not. Some questions. Everyone, please. And please, even if it's a small question, ask it. Don't worry about it. Anything. All right. Thank you so much. Do we need to know everything listed? Yes. So now we expect you to have a decent knowledge on all of this team. And then I would do a detailed code walkthrough along with the driver script, the engines, how is it done, why is the framework like this, why did we write to this code, what is the logic, everything. That's what I wish to do, team. Do you need to know Selenium, or you'll explain? Okay. So this is how we started. We finished Selenium training. Then we went to AnyAUT certified tester. Now we come into AnyAUT certified developer. So for those of you who completed, or at least have a decent idea, I would sit through this training and get a great idea. By the end of it, you will be an expert. You will be someone called as a Selenium developer, or there is another skill set that is called as software development engineer in test. Okay, SDET. These are the two titles that you'll get absolutely fit for after AnyAUT certified developer training. Okay, so what I was saying is, once you have some basic knowledge on Selenium, some basic knowledge on frameworks concept, and you have attended the Code Java tutorials also to us, then you can be a part of the AnyAUT certified developer. The first attempt, you might not be able to capture everything, but as you repeat the same sessions again, you'll really be able to master. And towards the end of that certification, you will be someone who's equivalent to a Selenium developer and a software development engineer in test. Okay. Which course should you take, team? There are 3 courses, and I'm assuming most of you are aware. JPAT, and then you have CSDT, and then you have Selenium only. Okay, so there are 4 options for it. Sorry about that. So for this team, how many of you are not having information about this? Because I'm assuming most of the audience are existing members. Anyone new? So maybe Ashna, we will send it in the email with the instructions if you're there in this session. I think you were there. Sorry, if you're talking, can't hear you. Something wrong with me. We'll send that instruction. Can you put it in chat for me, please? On what courses to take and so on. There's one more question from the audience. It says Selenium developer term is applicable in terms of AnyAUT only, or can Selenium developer work for building other tools too? Great question, Pooja. The answer is Selenium developer is a general term. It is not used for AnyAUT only. No, it is not. AnyAUT, once you complete, you'll automatically become someone like a Selenium developer, becoming an AnyAUT certified developer. It is equivalent to that. You can showcase your skill. Okay. And the same thing is so that if you're a Selenium developer, then you can automatically start working on any project on building tools or frameworks or automation scripts. Does that answer your question? Next question, or should we first go through Selenium training and then, okay, can we do AICD training and Selenium live training in parallel, or should we go through Selenium training and then, so just look, observe AICD team. If you're someone who's not yet sure if you're to be part of it, observe what I'm teaching. Just get the basic crux and concept. In detail, in depth, maybe later. Where Selenium developer can work. Selenium developer can work anywhere where there is an automation test, software test automation going on. What is Trello? Trello is a simple project and task management tool which is created by the same makers of Jira, and which is Atlassian. And what we do is whatever we have as activities and so on, we start putting it here. So in your, for example, Peach version, what are we doing? The earlier version, what were we doing? And so on. So it helps us to maintain tasks. It helps us to assign tasks to others and so on. It really is a very active community that we're working on. That is Trello. It's an open source tool. It's not an open source tool. There's a free version and then there are paid versions. Sorry if for some of your audio is breaking sometimes in between. Maybe I'm moving around. I'll try and stay in one position. If it's better, let me know. I recently joined JPAC 4. My question is, I missed AICT 5-hour free session. Is that okay? Sure, so that's okay. But then just, you know what I would do if I were you? Before I start the AnyAUT certified developer, which will be in the next 2 to 3 days, just sit down and watch the videos. Don't practice or anything. Just sit down and watch the videos just like we watch Netflix or YouTube, something like that. Is Trello same as Bugzilla? It's not a defect management tool, but we can use it more for development. We can use it for defects and so on. it doesn't have all the qualifications to call it as a defect management tool. It's not like Bugzilla. It's more of a project management in an agile world. Especially when we have distributed teams, this kind of tools really help. Will I be able to complete mini project without the knowledge of Selenium coding? Yes, the mini project which is there in AnyAUT certified tester, you'll be able to do it without Selenium coding. But the one in AnyAUT certified developer, you definitely need to know coding. There's no question about it. Okay. I attended ACT 6-day training, but I don't know how to get certificate. Okay. I think I mentioned this in the last session of that day. Let's see. Day 4 topics. Is it here? This one up. Here. How to get certified. You participate in the free training, participate in assignments and final mini project and certification tests that you need to clear. So a lot of you have not showed the assignments team. So you have access, whoever have attended have access to these assignments. So please fill in the remaining details as to what has been done. And if we have completed reusable components, then the last exercise team for you guys will be okay. So this is the one team. I'm just putting it here. And these three are primarily assignments. So what I'll do quickly is insert one above. A lot of you have filled in details. Some of you haven't. Those of you who have not attended, maybe a little Greek and Latin, but that's where we are right now. We're moving up. So this is assignment. Come on. 1. This is assignment. Okay. Let me increase this. Okay, I'm almost there. Please bear with me. 1. Team, did someone delete? No. Okay. Don't edit anything on the sheet right now, please. What happened? Why is it stuck? Okay. So this is the third assignment that I want you to do. Now, if you've completed this second assignment, first assignment, and so on, we'll be able to look at it. So watch the videos. Assignments are explained in them. What are the assignments? So I don't want to give the text to these because you will be easily able to figure out once you watch the videos. So assignment 2, this is assignment 3. Okay. So primarily, each of them have their own description as to what you have to do. Any question on what is the third assignment? Let me see if I can make it even more clear for you. Why are the different fonts here? I don't understand anything. Maybe I did something wrong. I don't know. Okay. So the first one is to implement the application AnyAUT.com till AnyAUT.com/orange till entering AUT module test case tested. The second one was reusable components. As to how we create the reusable components and put them there. Third one is create some test runs, perform at least 3 automation runs with various test cases. That primarily basically says that now you're ready to take the test. And if you do a good job on these things, team, test is fine. And then we'll do one final project overall, okay, on something that we assign. So this I have to send. I have to write it here somewhere. Complete the test assignments. Okay, so this is for ASCD. Once it comes to ASCD, I'll tell you. Was passed this so and so 6 hours latest training, who has completed the assignment and the final project. Okay, so that's already there. Assignment 3 is this. Okay. Perform at least 3 automation runs with various test cases. So automation runs is basically we say you run it on your desktop. Okay. Any questions? There are a lot of questions which have come up. So if there are any questions that are left unanswered, please let me know. I think I had issued running my test after download on Mac. I also ran it on Windows, but the tool was not recognizing Firefox. I think there's some challenge with Firefox. Can you put it in our defect list so that we can track it, Maria? Because we're also working on a few other things, right, together. So, unable to complete assignment 3, run is failing. How to get help? So why don't you document it as a test, as a defect with screenshots and show it to us, please? Even on Chrome, I was not able to run. Okay, why don't we log it into our defect logs that we created already and then have some screenshots for it? Everyone, can we do that? Can you ensure that you fill up the sheet with that detail and a screenshot also, please? All right, just create screenshots and put them here. Okay. So just to let you know, team, once again, as a quick summary, if we are going to the second part of AnyAUT, from being a certified tester to a certified developer, even though if you're not completed the certification process with AnyAUT, you still get to know the basic concepts. Then we go back and repeat that video. Okay. It'll talk about how we built the entire application, the backend engine. So if you've not watched the videos of any certified tester, then what we're speaking may not be in sync. So this session must come after any certified tester training and then before any certified developer training. Okay, it should exactly be in between. Any of the questions that I did not answer, please, from earlier? I don't see many questions anymore, everyone. If we don't have too many questions, then we can wind up for the day. All right, cool, great. Team, if you have questions, continue to write, learn at iteLearn.com or go to website iteLearn.com. And if there's anything, you know how to reach us. Take care, talk to you later. We'll communicate over the email on what's the next step and so on. There's one final question that I've got. I'll quickly try and look at that. Karthik, I'm not sure if it's the right place to ask, but wanted to know what inspired or why is the tool named after Orange Peach? Wow, okay, cool. Sure. I wanted it to be more juicy, honestly speaking. It should be like, the inspiration for me came specifically from Mac desktops. I can't say it's a desktop, but Macintosh systems long back, early 2000, late 1990s, when they had this colorful looking displays at the back of it. It was all very juicy colors, and from that time, that those color things kind of kept me going, that if you create a product, it should have something like that. Then we thought, let's do version 1, version 2, 3, and so on. uh, at that time I kept thinking about how Eclipse as a platform works. They don't number their version, basically say that here's a new version. They'll say Neon, they'll say Oxygen, they'll say Jupiter, Mars, different names they'll give to each version. So that kind of stuck with me, and I said, let's be a little different about it. So why orange specifically and why peach? What I thought, it'll continue to go for a few more versions like this, but the strategy kind of changed in between. We may stick with orange as the free version, and peach is the paid version. For me, orange is abundantly available all through the year, everywhere, and it's as good as free because I have a couple of big orange trees in my backyard. Peach is a rare fruit from my perspective. It's a peach of a fruit. Maybe a persimmon might be a much more fancier fruit. Yeah, that's the only reason. Preet, I recently joined CSDT training, but I didn't get content. Yeah, team will help you. So why don't you call and if you have a question on this and speak to Ashna, please. From where should I start? I don't know. Anu, where are you right now? So then I can guide you. How can I reach out? Have a few questions about which course to choose. So, Ashna, I'm assuming you're able to take notes from the members, from the audience. So you may have to make a few phone calls after this to answer them. Anu, someone will call you back. Or callers are not US number. Ashna, you wanted to say something?
I said yes, I'm noting down the names. I'll give them a call back. Like a few members who requested, I'll call them back.
Awesome. Thank you. I called many times but didn't get response properly. So that's what Preeta is saying. Ashna, please get on a call with her and try to assist her immediately. Anyone else have a feedback?
Yes, Karthik.
The only thing I request as your trainer is to give us feedback. Anything time you see there's a challenge in the application or in our response of your queries or whatever be it, let us know because only when you give feedback is when we can do things. We can really learn things. All right. Okay, great. Is this the last session before the mini project? Before the mini project, yes. Mini project may go parallelly along with the AnyAUT certified developer training, or maybe it'll start after that. Let me figure out how I organize the mini project in such a way that it'll be convenient for everyone. Where should we give feedback? Okay, the best way to do it is write to learn at iteLearn.com and also mark me, that is Karthik at iteLearn.com. Both these email IDs, please. In fact, we have a lot of links also on the website about feedbacks. So Selenium IDE does not work on the latest version of Firefox. Just go back to a few versions older when you want to work with Selenium IDE. Has someone done that? Try that, please. I haven't tried Selenium IDE in the recent. How are the others doing it, team? Can someone help me out? Answer. What are the prerequisites of ACT? ACT prerequisites is what you see on the screen. It's all mentioned right there. Yeah. Not Jaya, sorry. Sudha. Oh, for the ASCT session, what are the prerequisites? I'm sorry, there are no prerequisites. That's right, Ashna. For AnyAUT certified tester, there are no prerequisites at all. Anyone can take this course. All right, team, let's keep in touch. Any feedbacks, please immediately shoot an email so we can get going. All right. Is there any time frame for any certified test for certification? We've already did one round of test a few weeks back. We will schedule one more this month and we'll schedule one more as we go along. Maybe we'll make it once every 2 weeks. We'll have a test date where all of us can participate for the test at that time. We kind of schedule it at least 2-3 weeks in advance. If you miss one day, you can appear in the next. Even if you do not do well in the certification team, you can repeat it multiple times till you get certified. But again, it's not like you're repeating it 10 times and at least once things happen good. No, more with the intent that you're fine tuning your skill and you're not giving up. With that spirit, yes, and we'll call you certified. We'll not call you that it took you 10 attempts to get certified. Our intent is very simple, team. We want to be able to build the right workforce that we would hire, the workforce that the industry truly requires, the workforce that we believe is really lacking right now today in the market. That's what we need to do. So train you well and place you well. So certification should be a goal. I would strongly, recommend it. In fact, I will go through the journey along with you. I will have questions masked away because this was put by someone else, and I'll take them. I'll take them till I pass too. I don't think I will just pass by itself because the questions were created by someone else. And we'll keep improving on the questions pattern. We'll make it a much more stronger program. After ASCT, if I recommend it in my office, what is the next step? Next step is to get on a phone call with us before you recommend. In fact, we're coming up with a model where you will definitely get benefited by any kind of recommendations. What we've done is just a very random talk, team. I'm going for a minute. We're doing a very detailed sales analysis of IT, what's really happening, who's coming, who's not. We're trying to analyze the business overall from a very business and sales perspective. At that time, one of the biggest things that we saw is how are people coming to us, and there were two big sources. If there's a third source that you know of how you reached iTeLearn, kindly let me know, please, if of how you reached. Number one source has been through references by someone referring us. Number two is YouTube, by someone looking at our YouTube videos and so on. Is it true, team? Are these the two sources through which you find us typically? Any other sources that you've found out? Okay, Facebook, someone. Facebook, okay. A couple of you from Facebook. Anyone else from Facebook? Wow, Facebook. Any other accounts apart from these? YouTube, okay, cool. YouTube and or word of mouth is what typically has happened. So that word of mouth is something that we've realized is very strong for us, and we really want to work on that. How we kind of take it forward and show it to reach out to the public and they being benefiting through it. When we go out, give interview, people might like a product and come back to you guys. Sure, that can happen. I don't think it'll happen that quickly, even though you're going, we need to know about it and kind of prepare you for it. So we'll talk to him. There are a lot of things I'm sure we'll be doing through it. Okay, on that specific marketing strategy on AnyAUT, how do we approach? How do we go? That's a big road. We're working hard on it. I think it's going to get very hot very soon. All right, team, that's it for today. Yeah, good. Thank you so much for having this conversation with me. I know you're all chatting with me, and we'll kind of structure this AnyAUT certified developer with a specific intent on what we wish to achieve. And I think we will easily be able to do this. This is going to be an easy accomplishment. We just have to work on a plan. We have to go through a very structured approach, and things will happen from there. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Take care. Have a good evening. Bye now. Bye all. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Pooja, kindly share your number so Ashna can call you. Thank you all.